True indeed with you, Holy Circle Gaming. Thank you for rocking with your boy like always. Definitely a privilege and an honor to do as such. As you can well see, Madden 16 Draft Champions is what we're going to get into. I'm actually going to commentate this a little bit differently. I recorded the gameplay a little bit earlier, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually coach you through what I was doing in this particular gameplay. A little bit different than me doing it live on the fly. I'm actually going to go in behind and coach on the fly to let you know the goods and the bads of what I did in this particular gameplay. So that's a little bit opposite of what you would normally see with most streamers, that they would actually just tell you on the fly. I'm going to actually kind of coach it to you afterwards and let you get a little bit of a bird's eye view of what I was thinking when I was going through the gameplay, at least some of my thoughts and ideas of the gameplay as it was progressing along. As you can well see, this is Draft Champions, drafted a pretty solid team, San Francisco. Salute to y'all fans, stand up, you know how we get down. Hopefully we get another win this week. And so in the Draft Champions mode, you get a chance to pick 15 players, of course. You get those 15. Hopefully you get the best squad possible. My squad is pretty solid, 81 overall, 81 offensively, 80 defensively. It's about as solid as you're going to get for the most part, unless you get the random 82 or so. And so that's kind of what my setup was for this one. I could tell you right now, I was kind of operating with a playbook I was somewhat unfamiliar with, but it was a playbook that I was actually okay with as I went along. So as y'all can well see, this is part of the startup right now. In the midst of the startup, you know, some people matchmaking take a long period of time. I haven't had any problems with it. Matchmaking for me has been relatively easy, somewhere in the 15-second range, you know, matchmaking. But I haven't been doing too much player versus player on the Madden. I've been running solos as of late. One of the things that you would notate when I watch, I always see what the other players kind of have. I saw his Joe Horn, I saw his Vollmer. I was like, okay. I know offensively I'm going to have to probably deal with them a little bit as far as, like, you know, him airing the ball out a little bit. So that gave me a little bit of information as far as like the type of person who I'm going to play against, at least from a player perspective. But this gives me more information. I saw the 4 verticals. I thought YOLO all day long, meaning that all he's going to do is run streaks, throw the ball up, and hope for the best. And I saw his man up 3 deep. So all that means is that he's going to play relatively safe defensively. So he's rocking with the Giants. I'm rocking with the San Francisco 49ers. This is kind of how we're getting down right here. So I had to kick off the ball, gave it to him. And so the first thing I was thinking is, let me feel him out. The lag was a little bit off. Well, actually, it wasn't a lag off. My kicking was a little bit off. I had to get used to the speed of the kicking again. And so I just went in there, kicked the ball off to the right, gave myself a good opportunity to, you know, get off on the right foot. You know, he was off at the 31-yard line, which is not too bad. You make a couple of stops, you should be fine. And so what I was looking to see what he was going to do in this instance is, what was he thinking? What was he going to come out of the gate with? Most people would come out with a run, but I wasn't 100% sure. And so what I did, I kind of looked at his scheme. He went he went with 2 receivers. So I went 3-4, just kind of went with the natural progression. What I did in this particular instance, I believe that was cover 2 sink is what I went with. You know, part man, part zone, figure out what he was trying to do. He had to play action, and the play action in that instance really worked. I had one of my defensive linemen who could have pressed forward really fast and didn't put no pressure on him, which gave him just enough time to get that pass off. So the very first play, he's off to the races. So I'm thinking that, oh, is he just going to dot me up the whole game long? And so that was kind of my logic, you know. And so what I did, I was like, okay, if he's going to dot me up, let me go ahead and kind of play pass. I didn't really see for sure. I wasn't really paying attention to his lineup. So I saw him come into like the goal line lineup. And what he did was kind of like punch it off on the sweep. Now, sweep plays have been running really good on this particular Madden. But against a man defense, it wasn't as much because I had so many people spread out. It was easy to cover the lines in that motion. So I know he was getting a little bit frustrated at this point because he had one play that worked and one play that didn't. And so I didn't know how to gauge him off. And so what I was trying to do was kind of guess. And so what I did, I just went ahead and sent a blitz. And sometimes I would just send a blitz just to see what he's going to do, see if I get a little bit of pressure on him. I'm thinking he's going to play action, and he's in shoddy, which helped out, and there it is. Outside edge, blitz work. It was a little bit of a setup as far as the blitz, as you saw. There was a nickel dog 2 blitz. It was actually really set up, came off right side edge, and worked perfectly with that particular blitz and scheme. So I know he's kind of frustrated right now. It's 3rd and 12. His first play action worked. His second one didn't, and he didn't get a chance to run. So I think he's kind of confused on what he wants to do. And so what I was doing is like, it's 3rd and 12. Let me just go ahead and just man him up, because he was thinking I was going to run zone. And so he ran another play action play, and so I ran man, and my corners in this particular instance was already jumping a route, so it was good. I had Patrick Peterson on the side. I don't think he saw that aspect of it, and it really picked up the play very easily. And so what I did in that particular instance, like watching it again, is that, it was, man, zone, man. I was mixing it up so he didn't get a feel that I was running the same play over and over again, just as if I was a real coach. It was really coach really well. And so what I kind of started off with, I was going to actually run like a sweep play on my own. I had everything kind of set up to run the sweep play, so I was going to say, let me just kind of fake them off, and it actually worked. It faked them off, drew the dude off sides, and so I had a free 5. And so most people would just kind of run the same identical play again, but I didn't. I was still going to run a run play because I was like, it's 1st and 5. Let me kind of control the tempo a little bit. And so that's what I was kind of thinking. And so what I did, I actually went a little bit different than what I would normally do. Normally I would have probably went with a variation of a pitch play, but I didn't. In this particular instance, I came out in the same identical look. But what I did in this instance was I actually ran a different play, so he didn't know how I was going to set it up. So I just ran a run play. I actually should have ran it through the gap. I had a hole in the opening on the left side. I kicked it off to the right because I saw 2 players kind of converge. But I still got 7 yards. I still got a couple of yards out the ordeal, so it wasn't a horrible play. But I was just trying to figure out what to do. And so I was still kind of controlling the tempo. This was a tempo thing. Most people, 2nd and 3, they would try to dot him up. I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of dot him up at this juncture or to see if I could really run on this guy or not. And so in this instance, I actually went to the pitch. I went to my little pitch play. Now this is not my normal pitch play that I normally would run. This is coming out of ace form, and so this is kind of a variation of it. And it would have worked if my guy would have blocked better, but it wasn't really the right play call. He was set up for run, and I was trying to run, and it just didn't work out the way that I was supposed to. But what I did was, since I was in ace form, I was in single back form, and so what I did was I went ahead and went back into ace form and gave him basically the identical look. But I was going to pass. It was 3rd and 5, and so what I did, I made a small adjustment. I used my my tight end to put him on a drag route as opposed to sending him straight. And so what I have is a crossing route. So what it did, it freed up my tight end, and my tight end is off to the races. It's because I had crossing action going, and everybody kind of focuses on the receiver in that instance. But in the crossing route, one of the two is going to get free. Either the receiver is going to get free or the tight end was going to get free. And then in this instance, it was a tight end, and I had a clean little run lane after the catch. So it was really, really good. So I have him defensively guessing right now. And so what most people would do on the defensive side of the ball is predict pass. You give up a big pass play, he's setting up for pass. I'm thinking on the opposite end, maybe I should go ahead and slow the tempo down and go ahead and run the ball, kind of like the pro Madden players would do. This is like one of those things, if you get a pass play, you do the opposite, run the ball, and that's exactly what I did. He wasn't prepared for it, so once I run the ball in, it's basically a little power O action, popped it in, scored a touchdown. I actually have everything kind of in control. So everything offensively is flowing smooth. Everything was kind of working right now. It wasn't great, it wasn't horrible, but everything was kind of working the way that it was supposed to. Didn't run any I ran a money play. But it was just one of those one money plays that I knew that it was going to work. I just didn't know it was going to give me that much yardage. It did. So it freed me up. It was cool. And so off of the kickoff, everything was kind of running pretty solid and normally too. But the one thing that I saw was like, okay, he's on the 30 again. He's been kind of running me with this play action. Play action is running really, really good so far. And so I was just trying to figure out which way was he going to come out. And so I saw his 2 wide receivers. And so I was like, okay, I gotta go nickel. I didn't really want to, but you know, excuse me, with his play action, I had to kind of prepare for the play action that was going to happen because that's the way he was playing me up. And so just like clockwork, he ran the play action, and what happened was is that one of my guys, my middle linebacker, didn't fade out because I had it in zone. Because I didn't have it in man, it was a cover 3 sky. It was in zone, so he just threw it in space. If I had it played up in man, he doesn't make that play. But the play action was still working. But I wanted to give him a different look. Even though I gave up some yardage, I gave him a different look just so he could kind of see, okay, I could maybe try to dot him up again. His play action starting to work, so he's starting to get a little bit comfortable with the play action. There it is again. Play action, same thing happened. Right there, I made 2 mistakes. One, I had a end come off who could have put more pressure on him, which could have stopped him from making a play. B, if you saw that my corner, Patrick Peterson, could have jumped the route. I take 1 step forward, that ball's going the other way. But give him credit, he made a good play. I just played it wrong. So I made 2 really technical mistakes right there. And so what I did was, okay, he's going to do that. And if he's going to do that, I was like, okay, let me kind of prepare for him to kind of run the same thing. He's been having, you know, he's been having success. It's been play action, play action, play action. You know, I haven't really ran the ball much. And so all you saw was just kind of play action. So I was kind of preparing for the play action pass. And so I got a little bit of pressure. But in this instance, he ran the ball. So I was like, okay, cool, smart play. You know, I sent the blitz. The blitz didn't slow him up because the blitz that it was designed for, that blitz in particular was designed for pass play as opposed to run, but it was cool. Then I kind of saw what he was doing. He went to that little bunch, so I knew he was going to kind of go sweep. And so what I did was, okay, let me go ahead and go into something a little bit different. You know, so he was in a, you know, a goal line stance in essence. I went into a cover 2 drop. I just didn't have everybody spread out the right way like I normally would, or he wouldn't have got that off. But because everybody's kind of bunched up in the middle, I didn't spread everybody out. That was the way that he got free. So it was kind of a little bit of a controller mistake on my fault, because I could have spread him out. He doesn't get those yards. It makes him do something different. So what I was thinking was, a 2nd and 1, he actually got 1 solid run play, a couple of solid pass plays. What am I thinking? I'm thinking, let me go ahead and send the heat. And so what I did, I set it up, you know, had him pressed up, let me send the heat, you know, and I did. It was cool. 2nd down, sent the heat. It's 3rd down now. Because he ran the draw play, you know, I ran the man blitz. It actually worked out pretty well. And so now it's like, what is he going to do? Pretty sure he's going to pass. 3rd and 4, hasn't been running too successful. Play action's been working for him. You know what I'm doing? I'm sitting that edge blitz. I was thinking about it. I didn't know for sure. Sent the edge blitz, but I made something a little bit different. I actually faded out my player, put the pressure on him, faded him out, made him pass it just a slight bit different. By me bringing my middle linebacker out a little bit deeper, that little short route, his safety valve, actually got caught up in the wide stick, so he didn't have no choice but to throw it or take the sack. But he actually threw it, took the pick, and it was going the other way. And so I'm actually in flow, and everything is running really, really good. I have 2 picks on him already. I'm thinking, hey, he still wants, you know, we're still running. Everything's good in 2nd quarter. I'm still running my thing. And I was actually going to prepare to dot him up. Right here, this is a typical play action pass I was going to set up. And I was going to dot him up right up the middle. And so he had jumped off, and I had people spread out, and he still hits me. And I was like, dog, and only because I knew I had a free play, I wasn't really tripping off of it. But I was going to get prepared and run that same identical play again. Why? Because I wanted to hit him with a double up. But he actually went away. He saw the writing on the wall, and it was game over. So that's kind of what it was. But I want to give y'all a little bit of a thought of what went into my mindset and how I played. But that's how we do. True indeed. Holy Circle Gaming, I thank you for rocking with your boy, and you know how we do. God above everything, family. Salute.